everybody, welcome back to my channel, Colleen C to Serendipity. I'm Colleen. Welcome back to my Serendipity Suppies and welcome into my new viewers. Today is December 8th, 2022, and I would like to bring you this day in history. John Lennon, a former member of the Beatles, the rock group that transformed popular music in the 1960s, is shot and killed by an obsessed fan in New York City. The 40-year-old artist was entering his luxury Manhattan apartment building when Mark David Chapman shot him 4 times at close range with a .38 caliber revolver. Lennon, bleeding profusely, was rushed to a hospital but died en route. Chapman had received an autograph from Lennon earlier in the day and voluntarily remained at the scene of the shooting until he was arrested by police. For a week, hundreds of bereaved fans kept a vigil outside the Dakota Lennon's apartment building, and demonstrators of mourning were held around the world. Lennon was one half of the singing-songwriting team that made the Beatles the most popular music group of the 20th century. The other band leader was Paul McCartney, but the rest of the quartet, George Harrison and Ringo Starr, sometimes penned and sang their own songs as well. Hailing from Liverpool, England, and influenced by early American rock and roll, the Beatles took Britain by storm in 1963 with the single Please Please Me. Beatlemania spread to the United States in 1964 with the release of I Want to Hold Your Hand, followed by a sensational U.S. tour with youth poised to break away from the culturally rigid landscape of the 1950s. The Fab Four, with their exuberant music and good-natured rebellion, were the perfect catalyst for the shift. The Beatles sold millions of records and starred in hit movies such as A Hard Day's Night, 1964. Their live performances were near riots, with teenage girls screaming and fainting as their boyfriends nodded along to the catchy pop songs. In 1966, the Beatles gave up touring to concentrate on their innovative studio recordings, such as 1967's Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Club Band, a PSY psychedelic concept album that is regarded as a masterpiece of popular music. The Beatles' music remained relevant to youth throughout the great culture shift of the 1960s, and critics of all ages acknowledge the songwriting genius of Lennon and McCartney team. Lennon was considered the intelligent Beatle and certainly was the most outspoken of the four. He caused a major controversy in 1966 when he declared that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus, prompting mass burning of Beatles records in American Bible Belt. He later became an anti-war activist and flirted with communism in the lyrics of solo hits like Imagine, recorded after the Beatles disband in the 1970s. In 1975, Lennon dropped out of the music business and spent more time with his Japanese-born wife Yoko Ono and their son Sean. In 1980, he made a comeback with Double Fantasy, a critically acclaimed album that celebrated his love for Yoko and featured songs written by her. On December 8, 1980, their peaceful domestic life on New York's Upper West Side was shattered by a 25-year-old Mark David Chapman. psychiatrist deemed Chapman a borderline schizophrenic. He was instructed to plead insanity, but instead he pleaded guilty to the murder. He was sentenced to 20 years to life. In 2000, New York State prison officials denied Chapman a parole hearing, telling him that his vicious and violent act was apparently fueled by his need to be acknowledged. He remains behind bars. John Lennon is memorialized in Strawberry Fields, a section of Central Park across the street from Dakota that Yoko Ono landscaped in honor of her husband. I want to thank you for watching today, and stay safe and stay blessed, and remember to smile, because I love you, but more importantly, God loves you. And remember, I go live every Saturday night at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great day, everybody. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye now.